but there's the sure-handed Fitzgerald to latch on to it. A gain of 15 and a first down before he's tackled by Chris Houston.
That was a great route that time by Larry Fitzgerald. He made it look like it was going to be a post corner route, and just at the top of it, he stops and comes back to the football. Perfectly run route, and you can see the confidence that Kurt Warner has, releasing that ball well before he came out of the break. Perfect timing.
And the Cardinals continue to play without Bolden, who strained a hamstring, their 1,000-yard receiver. Fitzgerald with 6 receptions, 101 yards, and a touchdown today. Toss this one to Adrian James. James looking for a block, can't get one. Does manage to stay in bounds as he's collapsed by Brooking over on the sideline, close to it, but not out of bounds.
That was that formation that they've been using those pick plays on all day, and that time instead they tried to go with the pitch to the outside. Nice play defensively.
And timeout taken by the Falcons with 3:18 on the clock.
And you could see Todd Haley going over to Ken Wisenhunt. This is that time in the game as an offensive coordinator. You want permission to make a few calls. If you're going to go over there and you're going to make a call, you want to run it by the head coach first and make sure he's okay with it.
And of course, a lot more NFL playoff action to come. We'll be going to the Diet Pepsi Bridge Show next, and then after that, the Colts and the Chargers.
Ryan just hoping for a chance here.
Play action fake, and Warner with time, and a receiver caught by Breston. Breston to the 40-yard line. Lawyer Malloy stopped him, but not until he had 25 big yards into Falcon territory.
One of the great things about having a Larry Fitzgerald on your team, this time he clears out, he draws all the attention. Breston comes across the field, and the protection once again is there. This play takes a long time to develop, and for Kurt Warner, he had all the time he needed. Huge play in the ball game.
And Mike Gandy, the birthday boy, well, has taken care of John Abraham today. He couldn't have a better birthday present than what he has done to the sack leader of the Falcons. Hand off to Hightower. Spinning his way and free for the moment. Finally collapsed by Lofton, but had a couple of extra yards on the end of that run, and the clock advances to 2:21.
It was a nice play that time by Curtis Lofton. That one looked like it was going to get around the corner, but he flashed his speed.
Timeout Atlanta.
For John Abraham, this has not been the best of days. Has he been getting some added attention? Yeah, but he also has seen a lot of one-on-one blocks. And these two tackles have done the job. They've tried him on the left side. They've tried him on the right side. You can see they're not chipping. They're not leaving the tight end. This is just superior play out there by Levi Brown, by Mike Gandy. And it really has been one of the differences in this game. This offensive line, they've been known as pass protectors, and nobody in the league has had to pass protect more this season than these guys have. But today, against one of the best, got it done. One tackle all day for John Abraham.
That is amazing. And he was sort of licking his chops going against the birthday man, Mike Gandy. Didn't pan out that way. Here is an end around that's a disaster.
Goodness.
Breston. There's Abraham. Just when we were saying where's he been all day, he makes a huge play. What about this call, though?
It's bizarre. Now, I will say that there are a lot of coaches that will tell you that this is the point in the field where indeed you will take a shot like that. You want to do a trick play, you want to do it right around the midfield area. But boy, oh boy, that was a big one there. So now, unless the Falcons have a real letdown here, they are going to get the football back with plenty of time.
They will not have any timeouts. They'll get the stoppage at the 2-minute warning. That last play lost 8 yards.
I hope he got permission on that call.
So now all the way back to the 46-yard line. 3rd down and very long. Warner. Wide open in the center of the field is Spock, the tight end. He was absolutely wide open. And he has it 22 yards and a big, big first down. Whoa!
Watch the linebackers inside for the Atlanta Falcons. For whatever reason, they jump up. The veteran, Keith Brooking, a terrible mistake. It was 3rd down and a mile, and Keith Brooking jumps the underneath route. What is he doing out there?
2-minute warning.
And the world is made of energy, and the world is electricity, and the world is made of energy, and there's a lot inside of you, and there's a lot inside of me, and
On February 1st, the world will watch as history is made. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band take the field live for their first Super Bowl performance ever. Don't miss the Bridgestone Super Bowl 43 halftime show featuring Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. February 1st, only on NBC.
We're going against a team with a really good offense, so might be a high-scoring game.
It's probably going to come down to the last possession.
Well, it could come down to the last possession, but the Cardinals just made a huge play to pick up a first down with 2 minutes left. It went to Spock, who has 3 receptions all this half.
No, for Keith Brooking and Curtis Lofton right here. For some reason, they come here. Look where they had to get for that first down. Why would you jump anything underneath? You don't care if that back catches the ball. The only thing in that defense you care about is a tight end running down the middle, and that was a gift.
Steven Spock, the tight end in his 3rd year from Fresno State. Clutch grab as he came wide open in the middle. And with no timeouts for the Falcons left, Kurt Warner will take a knee.
And how special is this? For the people of Arizona, for the fans of the Cardinals, what has it been, 60 seasons since they've had a home playoff game?
Since 1947, when they played in Comiskey Park, and they actually won the NFL championship that year, 1947, as they had hosted their last playoff game before this one. They went all during their time in St. Louis, all during their time here in Arizona till today without hosting a playoff game. And here they are in the victory formation and about to move on in the playoffs. Steven Spock had 2 receptions all season long. He had 3, none bigger than that last one to give the Cardinals the first down, and eventually victory as the clock continues to tick away.
Well, for John Abraham, it's been a tough day, but I hope they have a lot of game balls out there, because this offensive and defensive line were tremendous.
Won't know who their next opponent will be until tomorrow's game is played. But if they play the Panthers, Carolina's beaten them 5 straight. Oh, and here's
There we go. Now you got the diversionary tactics, the player in front getting his attention. Here you go.
And as the fans watch it, they applaud here too, as Whisenhunt gets the cold shower. And the Arizona Cardinals will advance in this 4-5 NFC wildcard matchup. They defeated the Atlanta Falcons despite trailing at halftime. They had the big 3rd quarters they'd had all year long. They let Atlanta close within 6 here in the 4th. But the big reception, Kurt Warner to Steven Spock on 3rd and 16, gave them a first down and able to clinch the victory. Kurt Warner back in the playoffs for the first time since 2002, savors the victory and has the big smile to prove it. Right, Tiki?
Kurt, this was a big day for you guys. You thought you couldn't run the ball against these teams. You ran very effectively in the first half and also in the second half. How big was that in helping you guys get this win?
Well, you know it's always huge in the playoffs, and I think they came in saying, hey, we got to stop their passing game, make them run on us, and the guys up front, Edge did a tremendous job running the football today, and it was a huge key.
You told us a couple of days ago you didn't know if your teammates thought that they could win this game or win going forward. What do you think now?
Well, I hope this gives us a lot of confidence. I knew we believed we could win this game. Hopefully we can parlay this into some more confidence where we believe we can go wherever we have to go and win.
This one, you guys got to go on the road. You get a little bit of home field advantage. If you get some conditions on the road, do you think you guys can adjust to it?
Well, I hope so. We're going to have to. That's the bottom line is that, in the playoffs, you got to go on the road. You got to win wherever they put you. And we're going to have to step up no matter what the conditions and play well.
Kurt Warner, congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
Tom, back to you.
Kurt passed for 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Edgerrin James gained 73 yards, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Fitzgerald with 6 receptions as it's 30-24 Arizona wins. Coming up next, it's the Diet Pepsi Bridge Show. Then catch Game 2 of NBC's Wild Card doubleheader as Peyton Manning and the Colts take on LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers. That's all coming up next, only on NBC. Big win for the Arizona Cardinals and a long time coming. For Chris Collinsworth and Tiki Barber, Tom Hammond saying so long from Arizona. You're watching the NFL Wild Card Playoffs on NBC.
Special edition of Football Night in America, presented by Diet Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL.
Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, where tonight 2 of the hottest teams heading into the postseason are set to clash. The Indianapolis Colts, winners of 9 straight, against the San Diego Chargers, who had to win their final 4 just to make the playoffs. Earlier this week, Peyton Manning was named NFL MVP for the 3rd time in his career, although today the headlines out of San Diego have focused on LaDainian Tomlinson. Some reports say he has been diagnosed with a detached tendon in the groin area, though he is out on the field and he does look ready to at least try to go tonight for the Chargers. We rejoin you once again from New York, and the lads are prepared with their tribute to Steven Spock.
Live long and prosper, Stephen.
Or at least till the next round.
Well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vulcans everywhere rejoice. Warner hits Spock with the clutch reception. And the Cardinals, who hadn't beaten anybody very good, basically they thrived in their own division. They were 3-7 against the rest of the league. They did it.
They came out and played outstanding. They threw that Vulcan mind meld on them at the end of the game. I just thought as this game went on, the Cardinal defense really took over. And Bussy and I were talking about this as the game was unwinding. They had something on that offensive line because they were getting off the ball as quick as I've seen them get off.
You think they had keys and knew it was coming?
There's no question. I mean, you play the game long enough, you see that stuff. They're getting off the ball outstanding.
And I like Ken Winsenhunt, what he did with this football team. You got to understand, he came in with the mindset. He said, hey, we're going to be a physical football team. We understand we throw the football, but in the playoffs. And I think he really learned this when we won the Super Bowl back a couple years ago. You have to run the football in the playoffs to win playoff games. And I really think he dusted off Edgerrin James, and he said, hey, we're going to ride your back all the way through the playoffs. Now, I understand this is only one game, but this is a big game for them because they hadn't been able to run the football, hadn't been able to defend the run. So this was huge for this football team. They even let Tim Hightower get in the game. He got a touchdown, so this was big for those guys.
Yeah, the other half of that is the defense. We said in the front end of it that they're going to have to step up, and they did. I mean, they got off the ball. They controlled the line of scrimmage. We also said that they had to be able for their secondary to play well, and you can see they got after them up front, and they had great coverage down the field. I thought it was outstanding all the way around for the Cardinal defense.
Kurt Warner wasn't sacked a single time. That means they held John Abraham, one of the league's best, in check. You talk about the ground game of the Cardinals. Edgerrin James himself was saying, I didn't come here to be an offensive lineman. They got to give me the ball. Who would have bet that Edgerrin James would have 73 yards? Michael Turner, who had almost 1,700 for the year, would have 42, less than 2.5 yards per carry.
So, I saw your Wilson, and you raised me.
Exactly. In the pregame, I said that they had to stop Turner. They stopped Turner. They win the football game. So I think I may be a psychic.
No, you're a psych.
You're a psycho.
That's what you are. You're not a psychic. I'm psychic.
Go back to that part.
Edgerrin James, it looks like he's playing for another contract with another team, but who would have thought that they would have a running game like this? 73 yards. He had 100 yards the previous week, and after the game, Tiki Barber caught up with the Cardinal running back.
It's been a frustrating year for you. You haven't run the ball very effectively or that much. You got benched early in the year. How gratifying was it for you to have such a big day in a playoff game?
Well, it's never the way you start, it's the way you finish. I take this all day to be able to be in the playoffs and win, especially being around here is something they haven't done in a long time. So if that's the sacrifice I got to make, I'll take that all day.
Did you guys know that you were going to commit so much to running the ball today?
Well, we knew that they were going to try to stop our passing game, so we knew if we wanted to make sure keep them off balance, we had to be able to run the ball. And, anytime you give us an opportunity, we're going to take advantage of that.
It's been 60 seasons since the Arizona Cardinals have played a home playoff game. You guys play one, you get a big win. How much does this mean to this organization and to this team?
I think it's hard to explain because this organization has been through so much for so many years, and finally they get a chance to win a playoff game. So I'm quite sure it's going to be a bunch of tears from the owners and everybody on the inside.
I appreciate it. Congrats.
All right, thank you, Tiki. If you look at Edgerrin James now and this style and what we saw today, is this what the Cardinals are going to expect to see defensively, that they're going to say, go ahead, let's see if you can run the football against us?
Absolutely, because you know that this passing game can't beat you. And so I really believe if Edgerrin can continue to do this, this will be the team that everybody's talking about in the playoffs because they can go as far as Kurt Warner throwing the football, but now Edgerrin James, his legs can lead him the way, too.
Well, speaking of legs, LaDainian Tomlinson, we're curious about how healthy he is.
Kind of speaking about legs, but we'll leave that detail to your imagination. Earlier today, there were multiple reports saying that Tomlinson's groin injury was worse than previously known, that he'd been diagnosed with a detached tendon connecting a groin muscle to bone. Then we saw Tomlinson walk into Qualcomm Stadium and warm up, though he was not at game speed. After the warm-up, Andrea Kramer spoke with the Chargers coach, Norv Turner, about his star running back's status.
LaDainian Tomlinson warmed up for about 15 minutes. What did you see that made you confident that he could go tonight?
Well, it's never what you see. LT felt good about it. He's felt better each day throughout the week, and, he's ready to go.
How will you manage LT during the game?
Well, we're going to give him the ball, and we're going to let him go. And if he needs to come out, he'll come out. And obviously, we're very confident in Darren Sproles.
There's also Antonio Gates, who's been nursing a high ankle sprain. He is active. How effective, though, do you think he can be?
Antonio actually feels very good. I expect him to be full speed, and we need him. We need Antonio to work the middle of the field. He'll help our wide receivers and our running game.
All right, Norv, thanks very much.
Okay.
Andrea Kramer with Norv Turner. Bus, you've had that injury before. Does this all add up? Does this look like he has that injury now?
Well, I'm not sure if he has this exact injury that I had, because if you have the injury that I had, you will not be able to play. He warmed up. He seems as though he's going to be ready to go. We won't know, but if it is the same injury, he won't be effective.
But he won't even address this. Andrea Kramer, why wouldn't you? Is he just saying, I don't want to say anything about this until after the game?
Well, he's trying to deal with the fact that, he's not at 100%, and he wants to play in this football game. So you don't want to tip off the defense and let them know that you're not going to be effective in the football game.
He's just tougher than you. It's that simple.
Well, we'll find out. Al Michaels and John Madden are in San Diego. Al, historically, the Chargers have had tremendous success against the Colts, but it'll be very tough if LT can't contribute.
Yeah, the irony is, too, that until last week, LT didn't really feel like he was his old self, but then he said he was very healthy going into the Denver game, a game they had to win. We're going to go back and take a look at what happened here last Sunday night. He scores his third touchdown of the game, but it comes with a big price because that is where he hurt himself. Then a few minutes later, he comes back, and on his very next play, you can see he cannot make the cut. We heard John Norv Turner talking to Andrea. What do you expect from LT tonight?
I don't think the key is can he play. I mean, obviously he's dressed, and I watched him in the pregame warm-up, and he didn't make any cuts or anything. So just like Norv Turner says, you really don't know. It has to be up to him. And I question, one, how effective he will be. I mean, that's what Bus just said. You can play, but can you play effectively? We're talking about playoff football here, and then how long can you play? I mean, these games are always tight. They always come down to the fourth quarter. Can he be there and be effective in the fourth quarter? I think that's the biggest question.
If he can't go, at least the guy who backs him up, Darren Sproles, who would assume more of the burden tonight, is coming off a phenomenal game, as you guys recall, last Sunday night. See you in about a half hour.
All right, guys, we shall see. There are, as we switch subjects here, 5 deserving nominees for the Diet Pepsi Rookie of the Year award. Here they are.
Diet Pepsi is proud to present the nominees for Diet Pepsi Rookie of the Year. Choice 1, Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco led Baltimore to 11 wins and a trip to the playoffs. Choice 2, Bears running back Matt Forte broke Gale Sayers' franchise rookie record for total yards and led Chicago in rushing and receptions. Choice 3, the Titans dynamic Chris Johnson led Tennessee in rushing and was 4th in the NFL in yards per carry. Choice 4, Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan joined Peyton Manning as the only rookies in NFL history to throw for 3,000 yards.
He lives in Atlanta.
And choice 5, Houston's Steve Slayton led all rookies and set a Texans franchise record with 1,282 rushing yards. Earned on the gridiron, decided by you. Vote now on NFL.com/rookies for the 2008 NFL Diet Pepsi Rookie of the Year.
Congratulations. And remember, saving money at Geico.com, so easy a caveman can do it.
It's been quite a football year full of great football plays that led to great football highlights, and we thought we'd give them all to you here just in our last opportunity.
In less than 3 minutes here. Okay. This is the 15th play of the season for the Patriots. Final one for Tom Brady, down and out. So were the Patriots by season's end. ACL, MCL tear.
Also in week 1, the debut of Matt Ryan, whose season is now over. This was his first pass of the year to Michael Jenkins for the touchdown.
Chargers Broncos, the Ed Hockley call.
The play should have been ruled a fumble. By rule, the ball was dead when it hits the ground because the whistle was blown. The ruling on the field stands. It's 3rd down.
Cutler hit Eddie Royal for the touchdown, then the 2-point conversion as Denver wins it.
In week 3, what happened in the AFC East? The Dolphins at the Patriots. The Wildcat kills the Pats. Ronnie Brown lined up as QB on 6 plays, results 4 touchdowns. 3 on the ground, 1 through the air, which he threw. Dolphins 38, Patriots 13. And then we see Ronnie do his Cheshire Cat impression right there.
Week 6, Cowboys Cardinals overtime, and Sean Morey blocked. Monty Beisel recovers. Cardinals win it 30-24.
Ahead to week 11, the Jets at the Pats. The Pats are down by 7, but then Castle to Randy Moss, maybe the touchdown catch of the year, and the overtime decision to the Jets.
Chargers Steelers, and pretty much a microcosm of why this guy is going to the Pro Bowl. Troy Polamalu, full extension, the pick of Phillip Rivers.
The Eagles and the Bengals in the Do You Know Your Football Rules game. It ends in an OT tie. Donovan McNabb did not know there were ties.
I've never been a part of a tie. Never even knew that was in the rule book.
Donovan did know who his backup was, and it's Ed Reed who says, "Hey, Slappy," to Kevin Cobb. And he takes it 107 yards for the touchdown as he came in relief of Donovan McNabb. Well, at least there was no overtime.
The Ravens, the next week, had their way with the Bengals. Everybody else did. A little fun. Mark Clayton looking up top to Derek Mason for the touchdown.
Steelers-Ravens, under a minute to go. Pittsburgh trailing 9-6. Santonio Holmes, did he get in? The ruling on the field, no. The replay assistant went under the hood. It's not a game of inches, it's a game of pixels. Steelers win it 13-9.
And the Giants and Vikings in Week 17 win and in for Minnesota. Adrian Peterson made it both. The Vikes won 20-19.
Panthers-Saints. And one final chance for Drew Brees to break Dan Marino's single-season passing mark, and it's incomplete. So was the Saints season.
Speaking of breaking, could this have been the last play for Brett Favre in the NFL? The Dolphins and the Jets, it ends in an illegal forward pass. The Jets lost, and everybody got fired.
Cowboys, Eagles. Awful day for Tony Romo, and Romo sacked. He's stripped. Brian Dawkins, Chris Clemens, Clarence Clemens could have taken it back. Eagles go on to win this one by the final of 44-6. There is your season in review. Bye.
And there you have it. And now, for a session that will be all too brief, here is Peter King with an observation about teams that may be looking for a head coach. Maybe they shouldn't be impatient. Maybe they should wait a year.
Bob, I talked to Mike Shanahan last night. One of the things he told me is unless there's a perfect situation this year, 2009, which neither of us foresee, he's going to wait until 2010, which could lead to 4 of the 20 winningest coaches of all time. Mike Holmgren, Mike Shanahan, Bill Cowher, Tony Dungy, all being available to coach or to be general managers at the start of 2010. Could be the best season to go job prospecting ever. And look for Jerry Jones and Dan Snyder in Dallas and Washington to jump on 2 of these guys.
Keith now going to tell you about a special event coming up in conjunction with the Super Bowl in Tampa.
Yes, Bob, get ready for the biggest event ever to hit Super Bowl 43.
It's the NBC Monstrous 3D event featuring monsters versus aliens.
Yes, just pick up your free pair of Intel InTrue 3D glasses at the Sobe LifeWater and Pepsi displays at your favorite retailer.
And then, right before halftime, put on your glasses and catch the first ever InTrue 3D trailer to premiere during the Super Bowl.
It's a sneak peek of DreamWorks' new comedy Monsters vs. Aliens in 3D like you've never seen it before.
Hang on to your glasses and watch the brand new Sobe LifeWater commercial featuring the return of the Sobe lizards in 3D.
So don't miss out. Go pick up your free InTrue 3D glasses. Bus has mine. Put them down. Tune in to NBC. Get ready for some monstrous 3D fun during Super Bowl 43.
And don't chuck those glasses, because Monday night NBC will air a special 3D episode of Chuck.
It's a monstrous 3D week only on NBC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very nice.
And as you can see, not only are they functional, they're extremely attractive. Faith Hill has a Saturday night special, and it's Alan John. Colts Chargers next. See you at halftime.
No.
This has been a special edition of Football Night in America, presented by Diet Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL.